Hey, what's up you guys? After Reacts here, and today I'm going to be reacting to some more of the Winchesters. This is season 1, episode 4. I'm blonde again. How's it going? So here's the thing. I've been hearing a lot about like all the stuff getting cancelled at CW, and I am kind of worried that this show is just going to get like one season and we're not going to get like a resolution to anything. I'm a little worried. I'm worried, needless to say. But I'm hopeful that even if it does get cancelled before it gets a full conclusion, I'm hoping that Jensen, at the very least, I don't know, kind of makes a statement about what the plans were. I don't know. Anyways, we got comments to go over. You know what? You're right. It takes time to form a real good opinion on a show sometimes, and I think the show will get better as time goes on. Maybe. If it gets given the time. The reason the showrunner wants to give us those classic feeling episodes is because the fans have constantly said the first few seasons were the best seasons of the show, and they wanted to be more like that. It's refreshing because shows don't do the Monster of a Week episodes anymore. Untrue. Legacies did it. It got boring. And I personally love and miss them. Sometimes a break from the main story is nice, or we wouldn't have episodes like The French Mistake and Scooby Natural to love. Well, those are two very good episodes, but think about how many like, a break from episodes is fine, whatever. They're candy episodes. They're not filler episodes. There's a very big difference between those type of episodes. Anyways, I actually liked this show instantly because it felt like the supernatural universe. It felt like coming home after a long time away. Normally for shows it takes half a season or a full season to get invested, but with this show, something just clicked immediately and I can't explain it. Fair enough, you're absolutely able to like the show, that's fine. I have a question for you. What's your list of characters that you'd like to see make an appearance on the show? I really don't know, because there are characters that I miss and I'd love to see again, but I don't know if they would fit into the universe that is being created here. Like, based on the fact that, like, for example, okay, you know, it'd be great to see, I don't know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but it wouldn't really make sense because he's dead. Character, like, his character's dead, and he's an older version of him. I mean, I guess they could do something, but I mean, like, something like Lucifer. Actually, Lucifer would be a great example of what I'm trying to say here. He's in a cage at the moment, so it wouldn't make any sense for him to show up. There's so many characters that are, like, in positions that it wouldn't make any sense for them to show up, but it'd be nice to see. Anyways. I actually like the dated format of Monster of the Week. Early 2000s shows where it was most common is the best time for TV, in my opinion. Feels more classic, and I love having standalone episodes that I can watch anytime without having to worry about the main story. Just a little frustrating for people that have to binge the show. They can just have fun adventures that we have. I think the reason why people have been hating the Monster of the Week episodes in the later seasons of Supernatural isn't because it's dated, but because the Monster of the Week episodes became so overdone and not as creative. True. I mean, think about how many ghost episodes they had I'm sure there's like a list of like how many ghost episodes there were of Supernatural. And they were all just the same, you know? They'd like set the corpse on fire just in the nick of time, you know? The Winchesters is feeling more creative with their Monster of the Week episodes. Okay, everyone, don't spoil anything that has been announced. There are a couple of surprises I already know, and I can't wait to see your reaction. Okay? Although sometimes I wish they wouldn't announce certain stuff, so it could be a surprise when I watch, but I guess I can see why they announce this stuff. Well, I mean, you can try to stay away from social media and stop following people that are around the show. I mean, that definitely helps, you know, avoid spoilers. However, sometimes people just post stuff and it's rude. I like the fact that this show's Monster of the Week episodes still progress the main story and it's still important. Also, it seems that these specific monsters we are dealing with every episode is important to the story. Like how they mentioned it's weird to face two rare monsters in a row, and each time the lady at the end gets the glowy thing out of it. I like how Monster of the Week episodes gives more development and time with the characters. If Supernatural didn't have Monster of the Week episodes, we wouldn't know Sam and Dean nearly as much as we do now. Fair enough. I love the new lore they're adding to the universe, like being able to use the echo of a demon after possession, and the demon being able to possess a plant since it's living are fun ideas and creative. Yeah, it's just little. It just irks me a little bit that they didn't do that until now, but it's in the past. It's just a little irking. I don't know. I bet having a cop as a friend will come in handy. I'm excited to see where this goes. I like Ada as well. She has a lot of secrets and mysteries. I also love her vibe and personality. I like her a lot too. She doesn't play any games either. I mean, maybe she is playing a game. I wonder if she'll become a fan favorite eventually. Maybe. I don't trust the guy that is flirting with Mary at the end. Yeah. I forgot about that. It wasn't Rowena. I can dream, right, though? Maybe. Robbie has said that episode 2 was sort of like a repilot, and episode 3 is where they would like home base to be in terms of where they would like to go in the future. Yeah, that makes sense, because a pilot episode is something that they film to get networks interested, and then networks come back with a bunch of ideas and changes, and then they film the second episode like 6 months later, and they can change a lot of stuff in the second episode from the first episode, so it's like, it makes sense, yes, for it to be a repilot. I really liked this structure a lot. It had a fun Monster of the Week, but constantly sprinkled with some story elements that progressed into the story. Well done. I'm glad you enjoyed this episode much more. I have trouble reading emotions, so it's hard to read what you really felt last episode. I had assumed you were annoyed at the show and not liking it, but I was dead wrong. I guess that's just... maybe I'm just giving off that vibe. I don't know. People think I don't like the show and they just want me to just, like, leave it, and I'm like, but no. leave me be. Let me watch my thing. If the show stays structured similar to this episode, I feel like we would have a good show. I agree. This episode was already better than a lot of the later season's episodes of Supernatural. But gone millions of ghost episodes, lol. I don't mind if the show does ghosts every so often, just don't do a lot. Yes. Oh my god, thank you. I like variety in the monsters and demons that we get. I agree. So how does it feel to be back in the Supernatural universe? It's not the same as Supernatural, but I think it's filling the void of Supernatural. Yeah, I think it's nice. I don't know if, to be honest with you though, I don't know if we needed Supernatural, like another Supernatural show so soon after the original ended. But that doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying it. This season feels a lot like it's focusing more on character development and character arcs rather than major stories that takes most of the time. That's what season 1 of Supernatural did, and for that we found out a lot more about Sam and Dean, and also got to see them grow more, which I think is a good thing. It's a first season and it's supposed to be like this. But that's the thing, it's a first season on a network that is axing all of its shows, so it might just be its only season. Agreed, it takes more than just a few episodes to get to know if you like a show or not. Note, I did not say to know if a show is good or not, but said if you will like a show or not. Ha! I think I read that wrong. There you go. It is possible to dislike a really objectively good show and vice versa to love an objectively bad show. Absolutely. All opinions are valid, and whether someone likes a show or not. I know that we all know this. For me personally, there's a certain type of content, which I won't get into and is irrelevant, that I know right off the bat I will detest and have no need to see more than a single episode to know that I will hate. Okay. Thankfully, the Winchesters are not showing me that type of content, and so far, I'm liking this show. To be fair, zombies is my thing, that I'm like, nope, no thank you, goodbye. So I get it. I'm growing to like the show, because even though it's mostly Monster of the Week so far, they are also developing the characters and building their stories. Yes. Whereas Supernatural, it was pretty much either Monster of the Week with barely any forward movement, or had mainly to do with the overall season-long story arc. Yeah, and it was always like developing Sam and Dean, and I mean, like, it was great, but like 7 seasons in, I think we know these two boys. Like, I don't think we need so many character-driven Monster of the Week episodes that many seasons in about these two boys. Like, we know them. Like, it did feel just very filler. They are doing a pretty good job so far of doing episodes that serve both purposes. Yes. Plus, it seems like the lady with the weird-ass spider thinks is going to be the big bad, and they're taking their time with that, which is refreshing to see. Most shows these days seem like they need to lay everything out early in order to keep the viewer's interest. I agree. I like that the Winchesters isn't afraid to let the story dictate the pace instead of the other way around. I agree. I actually really like the balance that they've done. So far, every episode has moved the story along, and episode 2 and 3 are considered Monster of the Week. I am interested in the new characters, like why did Lata lie about her mum being dead? I'm intrigued by having Ada become a witch, and having a witch on the team will always be helpful. I agree. This was a pretty good episode. I'm glad that they're giving us a look at the Accreta lady. Not sure how I feel about her minions, and I wonder where these Accreta fit in within the original story. We've never heard of them before, so are they new, or is this a new timeline, or were they actually part of the original story, or someone was able to stop them, and why is Chuck letting this happen? Someone from another realm. What does this mean in regards to Chuck being the creator of everything? I don't know, now that you've just, asked a bunch of questions, I'm wondering if maybe these creatures will end up in purgatory, maybe. I don't know. Oh, actually, I will be just a moment. Sorry about that. Anyway, am I into the show yet? Yes, I am. It's interesting, and I'm coming to like the characters and be interested in learning more about them. It's different than how I felt about Supernatural when it first started, though. Can't really describe it, but maybe it's because it was all new back then. Maybe. We seem to have 3 groups of people watching this show. Those who are really supportive and get pissy. Those who are very supportive and get pissy when anyone says anything that sounds like criticism. those who hate watching it and want it to fail and will keep pointing out issues, trying to get others not to like it. And then there's the people that we have who are genuinely interested and willing to give the show a chance, who will point out issues, but that won't stop them from watching. Like with the original show, I was totally open with criticizing things, but I still loved the show and the characters. The monster in this episode was pretty creepy, and that's good. I still think some of the characters and stuff feels rushed, but there's probably a reason for that. Possibly. I mean, this is the first time, I guess, in this universe where we're focusing more on more characters rather than, like, just two guys. I love the creepy monsters. That has been one of the main complaints about later seasons of Supernatural. This show is kind of on the same boat for me as How I Met Your Father, spin-off of a great long-running show with a lackluster finale that I'm only really watching because I'm watching with you. I hope I can grow to love the show. Supernatural was such a big part of my life. I even have the tattoo. Oh, that is awesome. I want to get a tattoo, and I'm not sure whether or not I want to get that. It's definitely up for debate. I mean, it's part of my logo. What makes the Winchesters stand out for me is that a lot of people who worked on Supernatural are working on the show, and so that's how they're able to keep some of the supernatural feelings. In response to a comment from episode 2, I like that they're using music from the 70s. Nothing can take me out of a show set in a period more than a soundtrack that doesn't fit. Like, say, a CW show set around 1880 that uses songs from 2022. It's jarring, in my opinion. I agree. I'm not gonna lie, I know this is set a few years before it was released, but I hope that they keep the tradition of Carry On My Wayward Son in the finale. It was still released in the 70s, so it wouldn't be too jarring or weird. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they'll do something. Yeah, this was a long one, Mumbles. That's what she said. It's been 32 minutes and we just finished the comments, which I've played at 2 times the speed and consumed an entire pizza. Haven't even seen the episode yet. Well, I think this comment section is a little shorter, but still quite long. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I like reading your comments. I do. I'm just mentioning it. Maybe this is too harsh, but the little girl deserved to get kidnapped. She's alone in her room. A bag magically appears behind her that has her plushie in it, and this little shit goes, "Ooh, cool, it's my bunny. I guess I can go to sleep now." Like, are you seeing yourself, little girl? Are you fucking stupid? It's a little girl, yes. I'd get the fuck out of that room if that happened. Bags don't magically appear in rooms, dum-dum. Kids are naive. Okay, my dude. You're just trying to be extra, aren't you? Crawling across the wall when there's a perfectly good amount of room on the floor to just walk wherever you need to go. Did you forget to disable your Spider-Man trinket? Also, what's up with all of the plushies? A grown-ass monster should not be in possession of that amount of plushies. What if you're gonna bring a girl to your lair and she sees all that shit? Guaranteed no. Playtime, if you get what I mean. Okay. The brother getting taken, I can forgive. The bag mysteriously popped up on the porch outside. That's a much more believable place than out of nowhere in a freaking bedroom. The little girl was an idiot. She was just naive. She was just little. I buy it. I would do that. I was little. Naivete. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Once the dude kidnaps people, kids mostly so far, and then leaves a part of his bag behind. Again, it's like the monster wants to be found. Yeah. I'm starting to see a trend here. Not a complaint. Maybe the big bad is sending these monsters for some kind of reason and needs Mary to find them. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Added later. I mean, the creator lady is putting the leftovers of the monsters in a bottle. So maybe I'm onto something. Perhaps, the bad guy at the end of the previous episode was obviously a woman, Fruits. She had a very feminine hands and polished nails, and rings and all that. Well, I'm not gonna assume. There was no doubt in my mind of her being a woman. It could be Rowena, like someone guessed. Added later, okay, not Rowena. But while this creator is plotting to destroy the world, it's moonlighting as a radio DJ called Rocking Roxy. Alright, sure. Monster's gotta put food on the table to feed her scorpion pets, I guess. Yeah. You say Cop Lady is small, but the actress is 1 meter and 61 centimeters tall, according to what I could find. It's a bit over 5'3". Fun size. Yeah, dorkable for a cop. I don't know, it was just kind of jarring. I don't know why I found it so jarring, just to see her next to, I think, John, who was, like, much taller. She just looked so tiny to be a cop. I don't know. I'm not saying that you can't be tiny and be a cop. I'm just saying it just looked very jarring. They could have put her in heels or something. I don't know. So Lata's mom isn't dead, yet she claims otherwise. Judging from how she was talking about her father, I'm thinking maybe her dad got killed by a monster. Lata decided to go after the monster. Her mom didn't approve and booted her out, and so her dad is dead and her mom doesn't want anything to do with her. So she's basically dead. The father, more so than the mum, I suppose, but I'm just guessing here. Time will tell if I'm right or wrong, I suppose. Well, you've already culminated a theory, which is more than I've got. You on the CB radio being in the bag world. Bit far-fetched, but sure. Bit far-fetched, no Fruits. That's a whole lot of far-fetched. What are the odds that there's a CB radio in there hooked up to power and set on the exact right frequency so that John can contact Mary? You know what would have worked for me if one of those kids was missing a walkie-talkie, found it, got yeeted into the bag world while holding it, and that is how John contacted Mary. Who the fuck was missing a CB radio? I don't know, man. It is very far-fetched. Fuck the CB radio. Did Mary just open a garage door? Who in the absolute fuck was missing an entire garage? This was mostly kids being taken to, so like, what kid is missing a garage? What? And how? I ask you, how did the monster dude fit that bitch into his bag? I don't know. Goddamn, that kid woke up and chose Violet. She told up that plushie like it was nothing. Are we sure the monster is the dude who's kidnapping kids? Because Jeebus, that little girl. I think I should take back all I said earlier, because I'd rather deal with the monster instead of her coming after me. Dude talking to Mary. You want to see this movie together? Yeah, fairly certain this guy doesn't know the meaning of the word alone, but okay. And yeah, who even are you? Have you even seen Supernatural? Marianne's over John. Go away. Nobody likes you. Okay, so here's the problem that I'm thinking about right here. And I've been thinking about it for like a week and a half, maybe. Okay. So we know that Mary and John end up together. Okay. So that is the OTP of the show. Okay. I'm a little worried about the idea of putting either of these characters in other relationships because of fandoms. And I'm sorry, but this Sometimes two actors can have great chemistry together, that they develop like a better relationship than what should have been the end game couple, and it can kind of ruin the idea of the show. Like for example, I think in the first episode, they kind of hinted at the fact that maybe Lata was kind of into John, maybe. And let's just hypothetically put this out there. If they were to start dating and they became like a fan favorite couple, we know that they're not going to last, but people would still push for them to last. And then the writers are stuck in a situation where they either break canon or they bend the story to suit their narrative, which I've seen happen on a TV show before, and it didn't fit at all in the slightest. But the thing is, this is a prequel series, and it's not something set in normal times or whatever, so you already have a defined ending. Okay, so if you've never seen How I Met Your Mother and you don't want to get spoiled, please just skip forward maybe 30 seconds or something, because I'm going to talk about something here. Okay, we're good? Cool. The ending of How I Met Your Mother was filmed at the end of season 2 or something like that, so they knew how they wanted the show to end. How they wanted Ted and Robin together, okay? But by the end of the show, the characters and the show had grown so much that them ending up together didn't make any sense. They started a relationship with Barney and Robin, and that ended up being the fan favorite couple of the show. And that's my issue here, is what if they end up with another situation like that, and the writers of How I Met Your Mother stuck to that ending to the end, even though it didn't make any sense, but because they had already filmed it. And this is kind of similar, because we already know that they're going to end up together. So it's a little bit different, because, How I Met Your Mother could have changed it. They could have, because it wasn't a prequel. But this is a prequel. They can't change the outcome of them two getting together in the end. So I'm just a little bit worried about the potential of relationships in this show. Anyways, now that my rant about that is over, let's go on and get into the episode. Hannibal Park Hospital, okay?
You're a bunch of vultures! You'll never know what it's like.
I'm just gonna state, I actually don't like when TV shows and movies are letterbox like this. Not a fan. I like it when it's fully widescreen. What is this fucking pyramid head? I mean, you don't have a pyramid on your head, so probably not, but... Oh my god, could you imagine? Supernatural Silent Hill. Crossover.
Fighting the battle between good and evil isn't easy. Especially when the first monster you have to face is the one inside yourself.
Better luck next time, champ.
Am I interrupting whatever hetero-mating ritual this is?
We were just sparring.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Get inside, you filthy degenerates. Lata and I come bearing news.
You good?
Yeah. Never better.
That's such,
I'll let you have that
modern slang, hetero.
I start?
I would like you to start.
I never start.
Okay, we can start this one.
Okay, well, someone has to start.
I was out for drinks with my buddy Manny last night when he mentioned of a strange death happening at Hannibal Park Hospital. It's the talk of his Vets Bowling League.
I just didn't see you hanging out with that crowd. Veterans. What?
Wait, he doesn't know?
I didn't volunteer like some people I know, but yeah. Navy, Task Force 116. And don't take it personal. I'd much rather go door to door for Nixon than talk about my time fighting for old Uncle Sam.
Not that he knows. Could we get back to your bit so we could get to my bit?
Thomas Patches Pasternak, decorated World War II veteran, found dead in the locked room in the Hannibal Park psych unit. Staff is saying it's a suicide.
Which sadly is quite common amongst vets, but...
But Manny was there. He got curious, poked his head inside, and said he saw singe marks on the floors and walls, even on the ceiling. I mean, to Manny, the singe marks are just some strange icing on a deeply sad cake, but to Lotta and me, seems like Patches had company. Of the on-fire variety.
I'm thinking it could be a Persian manticore. They're these massive lions with flaming manes.
It's
I
not.
mean, they're rare, but giving the monsters we've had coming out of the woodworks lately, I'm not ruling anything out.
Yeah, and it could be a dragon, but those usually go after virgins, so.
At least I'm safe. Or maybe Patches was saving himself for the right person. Don't judge.
Well, I say we go find out. I mean, look, a hospital full of patients. That's the open season for a monster.
Easy, soldier boy. One false move and a psych unit will lock down faster so you can say lobotomy. We should start by checking out Patches. Hey, is this all hitting a little too close to home after everything with Murph?
I'm good. I just need a quick shower and I'll be good to go.
Not in there. The bathroom's down the hall.
That's Maggie's old room. No one's been in there since.
She was killed on a hunt, yeah.
Stop right there. We weren't expecting any more arrivals.
Power outage at the Buchanan office.
Been thawing in traffic for over an hour.
If we don't get him into a drawer, this hallway's gonna smell like week old meatloaf.
The second door to your right.
Okay, check the drawers.
I'm just admiring the fact that they're dressing up. That's what I want. More dressing up.
Oh, help. I dressed you clowns. Why do I have to be the one in the bag?
Because you suck at rock, paper, scissors.
There is no logical world where paper beats rock.
Look at the edges of the wounds. They're cauterized. Whatever singed the hospital room got him too.
The cuts are too clean to be claws or teeth, so that rules out manicore. These came from a blade, which must be why they're assuming it's a suicide.
Well, these cuts are deep, so whatever did it was strong.
Burning blade sounds more like a component of a sacrifice than a hunt. Could be witchcraft, blood magic.
Stick with me. I'm gonna get you through this.
I'm glad they're touching
don't-
upon his like
Carlos, get back in the bag.
PTSD
Watch
again.
Seriously, again?
Lucy, just do it.
Watch the hair. Watch the hair.
Just shush.
I got go, 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 go.
Excuse me. I'm here to pick up my husband's effects. Is that Patches Cross?
Miss Pasternak, on behalf of everyone here at Hannibal Park, I'd like to thank you for Aspen's service. Excuse me for a minute.
An orderly told me that he got into it with one of the doctors.
Which doctor are you talking about?
Honey, you're the second person who has asked me that in the last few days.
Who was the first?
It was a nice young reporter.
I know him.
Is that the guy that you met?
John?
Are you okay?
Bad breakfast. Feeling better now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fine. So what's going on?
Lotta and I are gonna check out a reporter Mrs. Pasternak talked to. But we still need to get inside the psych unit. Get eyes on Patch's doctor and his fellow patients, so... I hope you and Carlos are ready to tell your best war stories. Because you're enrolling in Patch's therapy group.
Great.
There a parade today?
Carlos and I are chasing down a lead in a veterans therapy group. There's a memorial for one of the members beforehand, so gotta dress the part.
Now I wish there was a parade.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I thought of sitting around talking about how I feel.
Never been our strong suit, huh? Talk is cheap, kiddo. It's our actions that matter most.
Carlos, this is my mom, Millie. Mom, this is Carlos.
Seen you around before. It's quite a different look. Everyone loves a man in uniform.
Including other men in uniform. Okay, you ready to open the floodgates and let the healing begin?
If they start trying to blame it all on the mother, you're out of there, got it?
Of course. We all know it's Dad's fault anyway.
Do you want to talk about it?
Talk about what?
Maggie's room. It's been a year, and I thought I was in a good place, but the second that door started to open...
Yeah, it's her room. It's closed for a reason. It has been since my parents invited her to move in.
Sometimes I wish she was still here, just so I could ask her how to get over the fact that she's not. Even with hunting, she always found a way to see past the darkness. I wish I knew how.
Well, promise me if you figure it out, you'll let me know. But in the meantime, do you have a dime?
You guys think
Why?
that the big
Because
bad
that
lady
the
is
reporter I ran
Maggie?
into at the movies.
Oh, that's Omega Man. You did not tell me he looked like that.
Because I knew you were gonna act like this. Okay, just hang back and act casual, okay? Thank you for meeting me. Oh, and before I forget,
Wow. You take your debts very seriously.
I didn't come here just to pay you back. I had a great time the other night, and you're a really good guy.
I mean, you don't
There's
know
really
that.
no easy way to say this.
Everything okay?
A friend of the family just passed away.
I'm so sorry.
But it's actually a really weird coincidence. His name was Thomas Pasternak, but we always called him Patches.
You interviewed his wife Stella a few days ago. Jeez, Marion.
I know, it's a small world, right? When she told me you'd talk, I decided to check in. And I just wanted to make sure that you weren't somehow, I don't know, exploiting his story.
I saw Mr. Pasternak's autopsy report. All those wounds. Didn't read like a suicide to me. I wanted to get to the bottom of things. Make sure this is the last time that this happens.
Wait, what do you mean the last time?
Who's next? An eager newcomer. I don't think we've met yet. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Carlos Cervantes, Navy medic. My whole life was in a van. My clothes, my records, my guitar. I lived life off the grid, free as a bird. But then I got arrested, and judge said it was either jail or service, and I wasn't about to give up freedom on the open road for a cell. So next thing I know, I'm in the Mekong Delta, taking second watch, surveilling the coast with the worst haircut of my life. I remember there were these dots in the jungle. I didn't know what they were, but they were beautiful. Like blinking Christmas lights. But then I realized they were the cherries from the Viet Cong cigarettes. I was watching them, and they were watching us. I still see those dots sometimes. I guess it doesn't matter how I got there or how I felt about the war. Circumstances might be different, but our trauma is the same.
Thank you for sharing, Carlos.
Well, thank you for giving me the space to share, Dr. Z. I think I'm gonna go freshen up. My friend here would actually love to go next, right, John?
Carlos. Nice to meet you, John. Tell us about yourself.
I was a Marine. My company was involved in an operation in the mountains south of Da Nang. Things went bad. We were ambushed. My buddy stepped on a landmine.
Losing a friend like that must have been unbearable. If you can, tell us what's coming up for you.
Give him a break, Doc. You were raised bottled up. Be a man.
Look where that got us, sitting in a hospital.
Wasting time. I've about had it with this damn group. You don't listen to us. You for damn sure didn't listen to Patches.
All right, that's quite enough. Everybody, let's take 10. Jimmy, my office.
Yeah, like hell.
Hey, Jimmy, wait up. What happened between Dr. Z and Patches?
Who the hell are you? You better get away from me. Right now.
That looks very tomato saucy. That was very quick.
Carlos, what did you find in Dr. Z's office?
According to his notes, Patches was haunted by images of a man with a horned mask holding a spear. That description ring any bells?
Sounds like a pre-classical mythological figure, but that doesn't exactly narrow it down.
Dr. Z was with the group when it happened, okay? So whatever this is, he isn't in it. But he knew about it.
You think he's covering it up?
I know, but I'm gonna find out.
Keep an eye on him and hang tight until we figure out what this monster is, okay?
You just talk about how you saw it yourself.
You won't find anything here. I've been doing inventory on the clubhouse's library, and shocker, a bunch of old white men weren't big on pre-Christian lore and myths. If it's a mythological creature we're looking for, I know where we can find them.
John? John, this isn't the answer.
Who's the man in the horn mask? What? The one that Patches saw before he died. The one I saw.
Son, I'm sorry. I know how hard today has been. First Patches, and now Jimmy. I am feeling it too. But there is no man in the horned mask.
Come on, John, take it easy.
What Patches, what you are seeing, it isn't real. There are no monsters in this hospital.
You have no idea.
I actually, really enjoyed our session today.
Thank you.
You saw the man in the mask?
Back at the morgue. I saw Patches' cross necklace. It took me back.
Did you talk about it in the group?
In the group? Dr. Z? You tell me you're not buying into all this crap.
When I got back from Nam, I thought the less I said, the better. But today, sharing what I went through, I completely forgot about this case and why we're here. Talking about it actually helped. Listen, well, we're out of suspects, but at least we know what we're looking for. So while Mary and Lotta hit the books, let's you and I split up, search for more of these burn marks.
No, don't split up! You just heard that he saw the thing! Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Alright, so what I'm getting at, I think, is if you bottle it up, this dude comes for you.
You know, she used to say goodnight to him every night when she went to sleep.
Ancient myths and creatures clearly weren't Maggie's only obsessions.
I don't know who that is.
Mary, look. Mars Netto, a Celtiberian deity based on the Roman god Mars. Do you think this is him?
It's a fiery spear, a horn mask, just like Patches described. Forget monster. We've never faced anything like this. And John and Carlos have no idea.
That they're up against a god.
Oh well. Sam and Dean dealt with gods all the time. You shouldn't have split up.
How's this gonna work?
You're the inn. We need to help John and Carlos. The hospital only allows family visitations.
And what else do we know about this Nito guy?
It's Netto, and he's not a guy, he's a god. All we know is that he's incredibly powerful, capable of altering the reality of his adversaries during battle, literally using the fog of war to trap and kill them. Oh, and also he's immortal.
You sent John into battle against a god who's immortal.
There may be a way to stop him. Tell her about the vase thingy.
According to the lore on Netto, he has a totem, a kind of vase called an amphora. It's a symbolic item linked to his immortality while he visits Earth. If we can find it and destroy it, John and Carlos will be able to kill him.
John.
Alright, we gotta get out of here.
We can't. Every time I think I find the exit, I get turned back around again. It's like a maze had a baby with a jungle.
So this place is real.
Yeah. Real as the sweat soaking my new velvet shirt. I've tried any way I can to escape, but I don't think we can just walk away. I think we have to face what's in here if we want to get out.
You mean who's in here? Monster with the horn mask? One that killed Patches and Jimmy? If he wants to fight, I'll get one.
I know, John. Hold on.
Don't move. Hey, guys. Everything's gonna be okay, I promise. Just don't move.
I wasn't planning on it.
Men of action are so hard to come by. Welcome, Corporal Winchester.
How do you know who I am? Jimmy. I saw you die.
Gods can't die, though we can bleed and be made to look well. Awfully messy.
So you're telling me all of that was theater?
Everything I did for you was to get you to embrace your anger, to get you ready.
Ready for what?
The Akrita. I know the Akrita are already here. You and your hunter friends are too weak to stop them. But you, a hunter and a soldier, you could be sharpened into a powerful weapon.
If I agree to help you, will you let my friend go?
John, please. There's gotta be another
Carlos,
way.
just...
Fight me and draw first blood. You join me, and your friend goes free. And if you don't, it's the spear. for both of you. All right, let's do this.
You know what to do? Is Yoko Ono unfairly blamed for the breakup of the Beatles? Yes.
Excuse me, do you have an appointment?
I'm Millie Winchester, John Winchester's mother. He's a patient here. I'd like to check him out immediately.
The psych unit is in lockdown due to an unforeseen emergency. If you'd like to come back tomorrow.
If you don't let me in, the whole world is gonna hear about your lockdown.
I'm not seeing any vases.
It has to be hidden somewhere. Just keep looking.
You haven't even opened the drawers or anything.
You're still holding back. I know the anger you have inside you. Set it free.
You don't know anything about me.
For the centuries of violence and rage in your blood, John. Become what you were born to be.
Bingo.
Your scars are holding you back. Your past is holding you back. Let me wipe the slate clean.
Okay.
Got it.
On your feet, soldier. This one belongs to you. Claim it.
Ironic, isn't it? That a god's immortality would be tied to something that appears so
Fair.
fragile.
We do not have time for irony. Now, how do
Fair.
we know if it worked?
I was right. You are just like me. You're ready for the war against the Agrita.
John! I don't know what you did, but it worked. The mine's gone.
Got some Dean in you. Oh, this is sweet. Alrighty, well that was the Winchesters season 1 episode 4. Pretty decent episode actually. I like what they did with Carlos and with John in this episode. Definite standouts I think. And it looks like the mum, John's mum, might be a little bit more involved than initially thought. That last scene was kind of cute, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I think Carlos was quite a lot more likable this episode. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.